Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday afternoon. We're getting ready for qualifying for the 2019 Daytona 500, though to be particularly accurate, it is the Daytona 200. A few things to go over this season. We're going to get into drivers entering their third full-time season, drivers entering their second, and a handful of rookies that have entered the Cup Series level. On top of that, this is going to be the first season where we do not have 36 races, or in the case of last year, 37. Even though Puko um, was a doubleheader on a weekend, but it was considered two races. It was 2 points paying events. Who cares? So we had 10 race playoffs last 2 seasons. This season it's going to be a 5 race playoff. Um, it's only going to be a 25 race season, and the amount of drivers that can make the playoffs will be shrunk from 16 to 12. So it's two race rounds and then a finale. It'll be 12 drivers making the playoffs on wins and first in points if first in points doesn't have any wins. It's through 20 races. I would think first in points will have some wins. Um, First round we eliminate four. Second round we eliminate four. We're down to four. Um, so yeah, that is the format. As I mentioned, the trucks format is 10 to 7 to 4. So with that said, let's go over 42nd in points to first in points for those that are returning. All right, it is time to go through these drivers that are running in the 2019 NRSL Mounted for the Win Cup Series. Feast your eyes upon one of my old online cars that I will probably never drive again. Um, to be determined. Anyway, let's get into the offline world, and we're going to start with 2017 Daytona 500 champion Phil Parker returning to the team where the magic happened in 2017. At the time, teammate Martin Suarez helped push Phil Parker past Zach Flickinger to win the 2017 Daytona 500. He was driving the number 4 Chevy at the time. Last year, he was with Roush. Now, in 2017, the Daytona 500 was his lone win. He was 10th in points out of the chase standings, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and 1 pole. Last year was a down year. Phil finished dead last in the points, 2 poles, but only 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s, with a 25th place average finish and 22nd place average starting position. So Phil went from winning the big race, finishing 10th in the points in the chase, to literally having the worst season you can have, last in points. It's anything but up from here. This is the lowest point Phil will ever reach. And being back with Stewart-Haas Racing could be the spark he needs to propel himself back into title contention. We'll see if Phil can break his 37 race winless streak at Daytona this coming week or so, whatever the schedule is. Now we go to a driver also in the Ford camp. New sponsorship from IGP manager Mark Riggleman. I mean, worst rookie season out of the rookie class last year. Riggleman was the Daytona 500 pole winner. I mean, that was the highlight of his season. However, he only got 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s. So Riggleman, about the same as Phil Parker, 25th average finishing position, 23rd average starting position. So Riggleman will have to do better if he wants to stay at the Cup level in 2020. Now 40th in points, I forget who that was, is no longer in the Cup Series. Like, I should have remembered who it was. But anyway, we go to 39th in points, Nico Tringali, out of the Red Bull Audi racing team. Now, this team showed signs of speed, but never got the win done. I think the closest these drivers, Nico specifically, came to winning was at Texas in the spring. But pit road shenanigans cursed him out of that win because, I mean, he was probably going to make it easy on fuel. He was ahead of Andrew Rich. But so Tringali ends up finishing his 2018 season 7 spots lower than he did in 2017. 2017, 32nd in points, 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Last year he had 3 top 5s and 8 top 10s, so better top 5, more top 5s, more top 10s, but worse in the points. 25th average finishing position, 22nd average starting position. He did have one pole, which he did not have any of in 2017. Now we go to another driver who fell from the top to the bottom, and that is third-year veteran Charles Sanford. Set to run this scheme at Daytona. Sanford finished the 2017 year last in the chase points, 16th. He had that one win at Watkins Glen with 2 poles, 3 top 5s, and 6 top 10 finishes. Now, kind of same story for Sanford as it was for Tringali. 1 win in 2018 at Texas in the chase, 3 poles, 3 top 5s again, and this time 9 top 10s. So again, better stats, worse standing position. He didn't win in the regular season. He won in the playoffs, and he was very far down in the points for most of the year. So 38th in points. I mean, this team should be ready to go and get some wins. They've got some good speedway experience now. They've got the road course experience. Watch out for this man right here, the NRSL vice president, looking to shake things up in 2019. And with that, we are straight back to Audi, to the 83 of Nate Rogers. Nate in 2017 also made the playoffs. He was 12th in the point standings with 1 win, 1 pole, 5 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. Now, unlike Nico, his stats worsened. No wins, still had the pole, but only 3 top 5s with his 7 top 10s, with an average finish of 24th and an average starting position of 25th, the first of our drivers to have a worse starting position than finishing position. So Nate, in his 3rd season, Red Bull Audi, they've got to get it together. This is going to be their 2nd full season, and we'll see if they do well enough to get funding to keep going. With that, we're going to go to someone who has had some pretty bad luck, and that is John Arndt. New number. Paint scheme kind of similar, but new sponsors. Saxby's John Arndt in the 05. This is what he wanted this year. He got his wish at Hendrick Motorsports. A little bit on the number transitions that occurred. Ferranti was moved from the 88 number to the 48 number, which is what he wanted. Arndt got to move from the 48 to the 05, and Hendrick ultimately gave up the 88 number to go Fas Petty Enterprises. We'll get to that team later on. Now, anyways, John Arndt, 2017, he was consistent for the good first third of the season, leading the point standings, and then it all kind of just faded away, and John found himself 23rd in the point standings with that one lone win at Talladega in the playoffs with 3 top 5s and 9 top 10s. 2018, he was hoping for more, and he got much less, 36th in points, no wins, 1 top 5 and 3 top 10 finishes. Average finishing and average starting position of 24th each. John Arndt could be a man to watch. He's looking for something that he needs, or else he could be the odd man out of Hendrick Motorsports if he is the bottom performer yet again. And with that, to another Chevrolet car, Jessica Shelton in the 02 this is the second driver of our rookie class returning from last season. Now, Jessica came very close to winning the 2018 Daytona 500. She had the strongest car out there. She was going to make history in the series. Got stuck out on track a lap much longer than she wanted to by a lap car that was coming out of pit road. Shelton ended up running out of gas in turn 3, coming to pit road, and that ended her shot at winning. But her season to show was 1 pole, 2 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. Same thing as John Arndt, 24th on both sides of the average statistic for finishing position and starting position. And next we get to someone I think is pretty much one of the most aggressive rookies we had all season, and that was Alex Ferranti. Whether it was Martinsville, there was some other tracks. This man was aggressive. Now Ferrante did have 2 poles for a rookie, which is pretty impressive. 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s. As we said, he stays with Hendrick, but from the 88 to the 48, new sponsorship from Baja Blast and Exalta jumping on board with Alex. 23rd average finishing position, 20th average starting position. So he's got the qualifying pretty good over a long season. We'll see if Alex can turn that into finishing where he starts. And with that, we get to our next driver that is driving for the 3rd year in a row, and that is Samet Oskan. Returns to the number 22 Team Penske Ford. Much surprisingly, he kind of lucked out with the sign-up procedure. He got to come back in this 22 ride. They've got new sponsorship from Sharpie. In 2017, Oskin got his one and only career win at Sebring. On top of that, that season he was 21st in the point standings, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. This time around, no wins, only 4 top 5s with the 8 top 10s, but he did have 2 poles. So watch out for Samet. I forget what track it was, but he did get the pole at a road course or two, I believe. So watch out for Samet. 32nd in points with some good road course experience. There's a good stretch of road courses on the schedule, so watch out for this man. He could be a man to look out for on making the playoffs. And now we head to our 2017 champion, Caleb Hoffman, who through 73 events is still without a win. Now, when I say 37 events, I literally mean 37 events. The man has not won at all. No All-Star win even, or Showdown win. He's got his 2017 championship, and that's it. In that 2017 championship season, he was the pole sitter for the Daytona 500 as well as some other track. In that championship run, he had 6 top 5s and 12 top 10s. 2018 saw this man getting 0 pole positions, 6 top 5s still, but down to 8 top 10s, and he ends up 31st in the points with average finishing position of 23rd and average starting position of 22nd. We go to another Ford driver in the form of 3rd-year vet Peter Sands. New sponsorship coming on board from Simons. I don't know. I'm making a meme right now, I guess. And Shelby Cobra jumping back on board with Peter, who had that sponsorship in an older series I used to do. In 2017, Peter was 34th in the point standings. No wins, no poles, but he did have 5 top 5s and 10 top 10s in that 2017 season, which is crazy considering he finished 27th in points last year, but he only had 3 top 5s and 7 top 10s. So more consistent finishing just outside the top 10 from the driver of the number 12 Ford. This could be his last season in Penske. It is unknown. He was 22nd on average finishing position, but 28th on average starting position. That's the biggest differential we've seen. I mentioned it in the truck show a lot. Some of those guys, they show good finishing positions, promise. But they need to show better results on the qualifying standpoint. Hardening me as I deal with the text. Okay. Next up on the list, 26th in the point standing, is our next rookie returner, and that is the 89 of Quinton Moore. Was a rookie, go Fas Petty Enterprises, so this is the first driver we're getting to. He's lowest in the point standings. Now, they have gone from Fords to Chevrolets, and everybody, and I mean everybody, has changed their numbers. However, this team has gotten bigger. And let me say that again. Yes, this 4-car team has gotten bigger. Let me run it down for you. The 38 is still on this team as a Chevy, and they kind of just expanded with the 88 of Rob Evans. Now, Rob Evans is a part of Go Fas Petty Enterprises in some way, shape, or form. Now, Quentin Moore goes from the 34 Ford to the 89 Chevrolet. We'll get to the other drivers' number changes later on. But anyway, Quentin Moore with that one win at Martinsville, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s, 23rd on the finishing and starting position averages. So overall, a great season for Quentin Moore. Now I'm going to make things a little confusing for you guys. I was initially looking at some of these non-playoff drivers. Um, or I was looking at some of the playoff drivers from the points and how, in the manner of where they would have finished if it was a 37 race regular season. I'm dealing with another text. So with that, we're gonna go to Austin Alves. Now, most of you know, wow, we're going from 26 in points to a guy who finished 12th in the playoff standings. However, Austin Alves' season was actually only worth 25th place in the standings. In his third season, Alves will stay with Roush Fenway Racing as they make the transition to BMW, which is entering the series. Now, in 2017, Alves finished 40th in the point standings with 1 win, 1 top 5, and 4 top 10s. 2018 was definitely a step in the right direction with 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, average finishing position of 22nd, and an average starting position of 19th. As I said, he officially got 12th in the playoff point standings, but 25th on the other side of that coin. So now with that, we'll go to a driver who was downright terrible in 2017, and that is Tony Green. Green drove for Gibbs in 2017, ended up last in points with 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s. 2018 was a better season, 24th in the point standings officially. 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, with a pole to boot. In the number 4 Ford for Stewart-Haas Racing, he transitions over to the 40 Chevrolet. In Chip Ganassi Racing, which is owned by Seth Cole, has expanded from a 3-car operation to a 4-car operation. Green is the new veteran in place as Cody Hagan has left the team. There is a new driver in the 8, and that is Andrew Miller. Now back to Tony Green. 24th in points. Change of manufacturer, though. We'll see what Green can do. He's got a very good team behind him here. It is the new car, though, so we'll see if 24th in points or higher is possible yet again. And we go from Green straight to his new teammate, who's been with the team now for his coming into his second season with the team, and that is James Shelley. Shelley, though, went downwards from 2017. We saw him 5th in the point standings of the playoffs. 2 wins, 2 poles, 4 top 5s, 10 top 10s in 2017. But last year, he had 2 poles, 2 top 5s, and 9 top 10s with no wins. 22nd average finishing position, 21st average starting position. Dealing with another text. So with that, we move from James Shelley, who's looking to rebound. I mean, speedways are his thing. And we head to our next rookie returnee. Leaving the number 38 Ford of Fas Petty Enterprises, Kev Shearer finds himself in the 6 BMW. For Roush Fenway Racing, he had no wins, but 2 poles, 5 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. Average finishing position of 22nd and starting position of 21st. Watch out for Kev Shearer. There were some races where he really showed he had the skill to continue, or to win a race, I should say. And I mean, new team, BMW. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out the same way Audi did. But, you know, there's some pretty good talent on this team, and with Shearer surrounding himself with said talent, this man could learn a thing or two and could end up in victory lane. Next, we're going to get to another chase driver who wouldn't have been top 16 in points if there was no chase, and that is Zach Flickinger. Now, the 2017 Talladega Spring winner finished 14th in the points back then with 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s. 2018, he had the 1 win at Dover, which was probably the worst race of the season. Same statistics, though. 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. average finishing position of 21st, starting position of 27th. So another guy that needs to improve on qualifying, officially 14th in points in the playoffs, 18th overall. And with that, I recognized my mistake, and now we will get into the just correct positions of where people finished in the point standings. And with that, we'll start with the man who really had a late season surge in performance, and that is Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Moving from the number 43 Ford to the number 59 Chevrolet, staying with Fas Petty Enterprises. Fitzwater notched 2 wins in 2018, 4 top 5s and 8 top 10s versus his 2017 season where he finished 31st in the point standings with only 6 top 10s, but still 4 top 5s. 21st average finishing position and 23rd average starting position for Fitzwater. He'll look to take this transition to Chevy. He won at Richmond and Auto Club last season. Watch out for this man on the speedways. And we should expect a pretty good season from a driver who was teammates with literally the best driver in the league. But he is for last. So next we go to Dylan Young, NRSL president. 3rd year, staying with Penske. I mean, the man owns the team. Come on. What other car would you see Dylan Young in if it wasn't the 2? 2017, he definitely bettered himself from 2017. 2018, 17th in points to 2017, where he was 24th in points. Going over 2017, no wins, 1 pole, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Now in 2018, he came very close to winning in the Richmond Chase race. It looked like he was going to get it, but a late caution during pit stops messed with that plan completely, and Dylan found himself nowhere near the front, and that is how Fitzwater won. Less top 5s than 2017, though only 3 top 5s, but he did have that difference added on to his top 10s with 9 top 10s to his 7 in 2017, 20th average finishing position, and 23rd on the average starting position. Now, 16th to 12th in points are not returning. A lot of you probably know over the whole course of like half last year, it was Deanna Jones is probably going to retire. Deanna Jones rumored to retire. Deanna Jones is rumored to retire. Well, that happened. That Dodge team, that 29 team, gone. Forget about it. Anyway, we go to the driver who finished 11th in points, and that is William Brock, who moves from the Wood Brothers 21 Ford to the number 31 Chevrolet. To summarize it really quickly, RCR shenanigans, adding the 3rd car, Deaver from the 31 to the 3, Gray, cool with it, moved to the 33, opening up the 31 for William Brock. William Brock definitely had a better season now. He was 11th in the playoffs. He made it without winning a race. He was one of those few drivers who managed to pull that off. 2017, we saw him 26th in the points, no wins, 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s. Last year, still no wins, 6 top 5s and 12 top 10s, with 1 pole to boot for William Brock, 20th on the finishing positions average and 23rd on the starting position average. Watch out for this man. He could be one to watch, but he could also be one to watch with a slump season. With that, we get to a man who replaced someone who has been a mainstay on my channel for years. No longer happening. I mean, I was just not really comfortable having him out there if he didn't want to be, because I don't talk to him at all anymore. Man doesn't have social media. So anyway, TJ Hanley replacing Michael Amato. Hanley was a rookie last year, and honestly, second from the top, or third from the top actually, on that rookie list. TJ finished 2018 with 1 pole, 7 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. Average finishing position of 20th, starting position of 22nd. Watch out for TJ Hanley. I mean, he's the first guy from the top 10 of last season. He will be one to watch. And with that, we get to Alex Gray, who moves from the 3 to the 33. New sponsorship on board. Pilot Flying J still kind of on there. You can see in the back bumper, the trunk lid, the back end. Alex Gray, a little bit of a step up from 2017. 2017, we saw him 11th in points, 2 wins, 1 pole, 4 top 5s, 11 top 10s. 2018, we see Gray finish 9th in the playoffs points. He only had the 1 win at Richmond early in the year, with no poles, 4 top 5s, but he did have an extra top 10, so 12 top 10s. So watch out for Alex Gray. He's won at many different tracks now. He's got a super speedway win, a speedway win, and now a short track win to boot. So watch out for Alex. He should be one to watch. With that, we get to the man behind. Oops, I didn't want to do that. We get to the man behind the performance of Roush Fenway Racing, DJ Curtis. Number 17 Performance Plus Motor Oil BMW, excuse me. Now, 2017 was a weird season for DJ. 41st in points with 2 wins, 2 poles, 5 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. The man missed the playoffs because, well, when you're not top 30 in the points, you can't be eligible. So DJ ended up missing out. But 2018 was different. He won a race. He stayed top 30. No poles, 6 top 5s and 11 top 10s. Average finishing position of 21st, but a good, very good average starting position of 16th. So DJ looking to continue his Ryan Newman-esque abilities into 2019. And we'll see what the man behind the performance of BMW can show the crowd in 2019. And with that, we'll get to Charles Jackson. Hellman's coming on board for Charles Jackson. Now, funnily enough, 2017 Jackson missed the playoffs just by a little bit. He finished 17th in points with 2 wins, a pole, 9 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. That big surge of performance coming in the playoffs when he won at Chicagoland to start round 1, and then Iowa to start round 2, or was it the second race of round 2? I forget. But anyway, Jackson makes the playoffs last year without winning a race. 7th in the point standings, another pole, only 2 top 5s, but he still had 9 top 10s, 19th average finishing position, 21st average starting position. So we'll see if Jackson can find himself back in victory lane. And now this is the man. This is a little break in the middle here. We're going to just leave it on. Actually, we're going to do this. We're going to move it to Ace Rogers. Ace Rogers is a rookie in the 19, replacing myself, Zach Rogers. And this is a bit of a downfall of Bulldog Motorsports. The driver of the number 53, Andrew Rich, was scheduled to take the number 23 Dodge, but unfortunately, over the offseason, during some local short track racing at his local dirt track, wow, what the worst sentence ever. Rich was in a crash and sustained an injury, and he will unfortunately miss the 2019 season. The man who dominated 2018 ended up only getting 6th in points after a dismal round 3. Just to go over a little 2-season history of Andrew Rich, 2017, Rich found himself finished 29th in the point standings with 2 top 5s and 8 top 10s. Last season, it was probably a season we will never see beat again unless we go back to a 36, 37 race schedule. Rich found himself in victory lane 8 times with 12 top 5s and 17 top 10s, 3 poles to boot, and he was the Daytona 500 winner. 16th average finishing position, 18th average starting position. He was the king of speedways. And when he comes back, he will be a man on a mission to get a title. Joshua Osborne, an unfortunate victim of losing his ride due to cuts in funding. He will be in the Truck Series, as previously mentioned. Osborne, second from the top of the rookie list with 1 win, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s. 18th average finishing position, and 20th average starting position for Mr. Osborne. And with that, we get to our final 4. And we start with the man who ended up finishing 4th, and that is Seth Cole's sponsorship from DC Solar. Coming into his 3rd season in 2017, Seth was another similar case of like DJ Curtis. Won a few races, but he didn't make the playoffs because he was too low with a 1 win from the regular season. He got 2 more in the playoffs that year. Seth finished 2017 30th in points with 3 wins, 2 poles, 6 top 5s, and 10 top 10s. Last year was definitely a better year despite only getting 2 victories. He found himself on the pole 4 times with 7 top 5s and 12 top 10s with an average finishing position of 17th and an average starting position of 18th. Returning to the number 5 for 2019 is Jonathan Sorlin. In the number 5 Chevrolet Sorlin in 2017 made the playoffs. Ninth in points that year with 1 win at Michigan, 2 top 5s, and 8 top 10s. Last year he found himself in victory lane 3 times, 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s. Surprisingly though, an average finishing to starting position of 20th at each end. So I mean, this man probably wouldn't be very high in the points if he had not made the playoffs. And with that, we get to the favorite, the man who made some risks, Cole Deaver, pit 2 laps early at Homestead, trying to get those fresher tires, trying to gap the rest of the field, but it wasn't enough. He ended up finishing second to the champ. But the breakout surprise rookie of the season found his stride right in the middle before the playoffs, getting 2 wins back to back at a road course in a speedway, which he beat Andrew Rich off at Indianapolis, which was incredible to see. And then he later won Dega in the playoffs. But Deaver, 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 13 top 10s, 19th average finishing position, 20th average starting position. I mean, if you don't get the title this year, then it's going to be a disappointment. That's the kind of mentality this team has coming in. They want to see this car get a trophy. And with that, we head to our last driver to preview, and that is Jonny Gardner. Now, let me tell you something about this man. 32 Go Fas Petty Enterprise team was formed last year. 2017, it was not a thing. You had Go Fast Racing for the 32, you had Front Row Motorsports 34, 38, and then you had Richard Petty in the 43 car. Those 3 teams combined, Front Row just kind of lost their privileges to have a name in there. It became Go Fast Petty Enterprises. So as I said, that team, they've changed every number and they've gotten a 5th car. It's unreal. Jonny Gardner has made the money for this team. Camping World going to stay with him, and Anderson's Maple Syrup comes on board. 2017, Gardner found himself finished second in points despite having the most successful season out of any driver. In 2017, Gardner found himself in victory lane 3 times at Auto Club, Meadowlands, and Darlington with 7 top 5s and 11 top 10 finishes. He stepped it up again in 2018, got lucky with Andrew Rich missing the Final Four because, I mean, Rich literally won Homestead. So Gardner got 3 wins in 2018 at Chicago Motor Speedway, Pocono, and Armory Digital Super Speedway. So 3 completely different tracks yet again for Jonny Gardner. 10 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and Gardner found himself finished with a 16th place average finishing position and an 18th place average starting position. I later forgot that he was actually in the field, and that is James Qualls returning for his 3rd season in 2017. He was 19th in points with 1 win, 4 top 5s, and 8 top 10s, and a pole. Last year, not so much. 29th in the standings for James Qualls with no wins, just 1 top 5, 6 top 10s. And then with that, we head to someone who didn't race last year, but he did race in 2017. And that is Edwin Mendez in the 4. 2017, Mendez had no wins, 1 pole, 3 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. And I do not know where he finished in the point standings. 18th average finishing position, 21st average starting position. So I have his stats, but I yet do not know where he finished in the points. Okay, so that is terrible on my part. But anyway, let's get to the new faces, and we'll start with the 8 of Andrew Miller, who will drive the 8. In 2019, Sebastian Kukalon becomes the 3rd different driver to drive the 9 car in 3 years. Jay Jefferson takes over for the 15, a new car, kind of just picking up the pieces from the defunct 95 team. Jose Mills and Patrick Zick find themselves rookies on the Joe Gibb team alongside Charles Jackson, the veteran. Ace Rogers will take over for his older brother, Zach. Ryan Brommer will take over for the Wood brothers in place of William Brock, who left the team. Gatlin Downey finds himself in a cup ride while he runs full-time as a veteran truck series driver. He'll be in the 38. Excuse me, Marty Johnson, new driver completely to cup, didn't run trucks at all. Actually, he might if I forget. But Marty taking the 39, which was the 29 team. As we mentioned, Rich would have been in the 23, but due to his injury, he will not be driving. But Marty will be taking over for Deanna Jones' team, and they changed the number to the 39. Another new rookie replacing someone who was a rookie, Diego Yepes. In the 77 is William Flickinger. So we'll see William out on the track alongside his brother, question mark, in Sack Flickinger. Going to the 88 is Rob Evans. I don't know why that keeps happening. Um, we'll see Rob as a part-time rookie in trucks as well. And then in the 99 is Levi McIntyre, who did run in trucks last season. Now, this is just my prediction. This is a few predictions, and then we'll get into a few driver interviews. My prediction for the Final Four is we will see Jonny Gardner come back in. Why does that keep happening? Jonny Gardner will return to the Final Four yet again. Colt Deaver will return again. Sorlin and Seth Colt. My prediction is literally it's going to be the same people. They have just dominated way too much to not be in the Final Four yet again. My dark horse of the pick for the season is TJ Hanley. Rookie of the Year, Ace Rogers, unbiased, rigged, whatever you want to say. Improvement will be from Team Audi. This is Nate Rogers and Nico Tringali. And the slump season prediction is for Dylan Young. So with that said, let's get to your first interview of the day. I sit here in the studio and I am joined by our 2018 NRSL for the Win, Mountain Dew for the Win Cup Series champion, Jonny Gardner. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Not too bad, just looking forward to getting ready for the new season.
Yes, indeed. And if we look at your season specifically, 3 wins, 10 top fives, 16 top tens. Now that was a 37 race season. We're only down to a 25 races. So is it a bit of a challenge or motivated to try and cram those same statistics into 12 less events?
It's gonna take a lot of skill though, because like you said, there's now less than 37 races. There's now the 25. There's still the determination to try to go back to back. However, schedule, there's more room for competition to come sneak in there and try to knock the door down to become another champion.
Indeed, and if we look at your 2 season career, 2017 second in points, 3 win season as well, but 2018 was the title year, so they really can only go up from here and try to make
That's
history
right.
going back to back. Let's talk about your team. In 2017, it was you were on a single car team of Go Fast Racing. Um, what led to the decision after 2017 to take Go Fast, Front Row Motorsports, and Richard Petty and merge them into one four-car Ford powerhouse?
Oh, here's the way I look at it. Petty Motorsports was basically and essentially a one-car team like I was, and then with Front Row Motorsports, they were basically a two-car team. I might as well do some creativity, see what would work, and sure enough, long run, all the cars won basically except for Kev, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct. So if we look at your team's success, Quentin Moore, the 1 win early on in the season at Martinsville, he did only end up 26th in the points. Kev Shearer indeed was the only winless car. He was 22nd in points, but he did have some strong runs. Um, Fitzwater, while he didn't make the playoffs, he did win 2 races over the course of the season. And then there was you at the top of the performance. And now this season, the team has been able to expand to a 5 car operation. You've got Fitzwater and Moore returning, and new drivers, Rob Evans and Gatlin Downey. And along with that, the team has gone from Fords to Chevrolets, and you, Quentin, and Fitzwater have all changed your numbers, and you've brought in a new number for Rob. So, what kind of led to the decision to go away from the previous numbers while changing manufacturers?
Well, when you mentioned Rob, well, Rob's a Chevrolet guy. He doesn't like necessarily like driving for Fords, but on the online side of things, he's driving. He's ironically driving a Ford. But if he wants something to be discussed, we'll discuss it. We're basically like a family. We want to talk together about everything, what we want to try to do. And when I was like, I want to bring Rob up, I'm like, Chevy guy. He's with the bow tie brigade for as long as I can remember. I'm like, we got to work together as a team to see what we can do. And everybody on the Chevy, Quentin's going to his familiar number after his hero Morgan Shepherd. Fitzy and the 59 is like loyalty for him. Rob with the 88 because he's a junior fan. Um, myself with the 7. That because Tommy Baldwin raced in real life. Tommy grew up down in the his dad. When they found out he was going to bring the number 7 back for his team, that was really impartial. That over for myself because I used to have the number 7 for a lot of my stuff back a long time ago, especially when I played baseball. But having the 38 back as a Chevy, the Jason Leffler colors, that's going to bring a lot of special to see again.
And what would you say? We talked about expectations for yourself. What would you expect your teammates to do? Obviously, Fitzwater with 2 wins, Quinton with the 1 win, and then you've got 2 rookies this year, opposed to well, you did have 2 rookies last season as well. So two
Did have two
rookies this
rookies
year,
last year.
but now it's a 5 card team. Now it's 3 veterans to 2 rookies, not 2 vets to 2 rookies. So who would you say is teaching who out of Rob and Gatlin?
Well, you already know how Rob and I are. We're basically like siblings, but so to speak. And Rob always, when I need to discuss stuff with Rob, we basically come together. We have like a team meeting, like veteran versus rookie type of deal. We always come to ideas. I like to mentor him, like to talk about setups. We like to talk about this or that. We put our ideas together, see what happens. And like how you said with Gaitlin Downey, he's the other rookie. Myself, Fitzy, and Quentin as veterans. Now we can have Fitzy work with Gatlin on some aspects. We can have Quentin work with him on others. And if they need my expertise for the super speedways, they can always know where my door is. So
Right, and now let's talk about tracks where you've won at. 2017, the first win came at Auto Club early in the season, and then towards the end of the summer, we saw a win at the Meadowlands Circuit, and then Darlington. And then last year we saw wins at Chicago Motor Speedway, not Chicagoland, of course, Chicago in Cicero. We also saw you win at Pocono, and then you got your first non-intermediate win, which was at Armory Digital. Is there any drive to win on a short track or a road course?
well, Fitzy is the road course ace of our team anyway because he's from the Australian background. He likes to run the road courses. However, for me, some short track wins for myself, but we'll have to see how the cars handle for sure. It'll take some time to get assessed as reports to the Ford Fusion that we were running. We would have to see what would work and counterbalance it.
Well, this has been Bulldog Speed here with your defending champion Jonny Gardner, and we just might see with there being 3 Chevys and 1 Ford in last year's Final Four, it might just be a Chevy sweep this year. Thanks for joining me, Johnny.
Problem.